The first time I met her was in the ruins of an abandoned mining colony, a place the Galactic Council had long declared forbidden. The locals called it Ashgrave. Humans weren't supposed to be there. Too dangerous, too unstable, but I wasn't exactly the type to follow rules when the promise of old technology and lost knowledge dangled in front of me. My name's Marcus Hale, a scavenger, ex-military, and a man just trying to keep his ship flying. I'd been through enough wars to know that governments lie, empires rise and fall, and the only thing that really matters is what you can carry and who has your back. Ashgrave was silent when I landed, a graveyard of steel and shattered glass, the remains of some ancient disaster that the council refused to explain. My scanners went crazy with radiation warnings, but my gut told me there was more here than just another ruined outpost. Something hummed in the bones of this place, like the ground itself was whispering secrets. That's when I found her. At first, I thought she was another scavenger. Small frame, cloaked in tattered fabric, hood pulled low. She moved silently among the wreckage, searching, not looting. Her hands trembled as she touched certain walls, her long fingers tracing invisible lines in the metal. When she finally noticed me, I saw her eyes. Not human, not even close. They were a deep, shifting violet with threads of silver light that seemed to dance like lightning trapped in water. Her skin glowed faintly under the pale sky, marked by faint patterns that seemed etched into her flesh, geometric swirls, triangles, and flowing lines that pulsed faintly with every breath. An alien girl. Young, maybe my equivalent of 20 years old, though with her kind it was hard to guess. She froze when she saw me, not in fear, but in recognition. "You shouldn't be here," she said in halting galactic standard, her voice carrying an echo like two notes played together. "This place remembers." I tightened my grip on my rifle. Funny, I was about to say the same to you, but she only tilted her head, studying me like I was the intruder in her world. And maybe I was. Middle. Her name, I later learned, was Lyra. She was the last of her people still bound to Ashgrave. Her species, the Zyreth, had once built something extraordinary here. Not just a colony. A sanctuary. A place where matter itself could be reshaped by living will, where thought and reality bled together. It had been destroyed centuries ago, and the Galactic Council buried the truth, branding it a hazard zone. Lyra stayed because she said the echoes of her people still lingered in the ruins. Their memories were written into the very metal, into the ground, into the strange symbols that wound across her skin. I didn't believe her at first. I thought she was just another lost wanderer, clinging to ghosts. But then she showed me. One night, under a fractured dome open to the stars, she drew a symbol on the ground with her finger. The lines glowed faint blue, as if the earth itself obeyed her. She whispered words I didn't understand, and before my eyes, the rubble around us bent, twisted, and became a table, whole and unbroken. That's when I realized why the Council had forbidden this place. This wasn't just alien tech. It was power. The kind of power that could rewrite empires. Over the weeks that followed, I kept coming back. At first, I told myself it was about scavenging, learning what I could, maybe selling scraps of knowledge for credits. But the truth was simpler. I wanted to understand her. Lyra was patient, though guarded. She laughed at my clumsy attempts to copy her symbols in the dirt, correcting me with soft gestures, her hand brushing mine to adjust the lines. She taught me about resonance, how everything in the universe vibrates at a frequency, and how her people could tune themselves to those frequencies through their markings. "It is not magic," she told me once. "It is belonging. We etch who we are into ourselves. Each line, each curve, it binds us together. Alone, we are fragile. Together, we become more than flesh. And then, one evening, after I had saved her from a collapsing tower by hauling her out seconds before it crashed, she did something I never expected. She sat beside me in the dust, her violet eyes shining with something unspoken. She took my arm, scarred, rough, human, and with her glowing fingertip, began to draw. The symbol was intricate, a spiral nested in sharp angles, lines flowing like rivers around my veins. As she finished, the mark pulsed, warm against my skin, sinking in until it wasn't drawn on me, but etched into me. I flinched. "What did you just do?" Lyra's voice was soft, but her words were heavy with meaning. "Now you are one of us too." The change was subtle at first. I began to sense things differently. The hum of old machines beneath rubble, the faint shimmer of energy currents in the air. My reflexes sharpened, my awareness expanded. I could feel resonance the way she did, like the world itself was a song I had only just begun to hear. But there was danger in this gift. The council wasn't blind. They had patrols sweeping forbidden sectors, hunting down anyone who dared trespass. And when they caught rumors of resonant activity on Ashgrave, they came with fire and steel. The night the council fleet descended, Lyra wanted me to leave. "You are human," she insisted, pressing a shard of crystal into my hand. "They will forgive you. They will not forgive me." But I couldn't walk away. Not anymore. We fought side by side, using the resonance to twist the battlefield. Walls rose to shield us, paths opened where none had existed. Enemy drones crashed as their circuits screamed under frequencies they weren't built to withstand. For the first time in years, I felt alive. Not just surviving, not just scavenging, fighting for something that mattered. But the council was endless, and we were only two. When the last wave came, overwhelming and merciless, Lyra turned to me with tears shimmering in her eyes. "The song must survive," she whispered. "Promise me, Marcus." And before I could stop her, she pressed both her hands against my chest. The symbols on her skin blazed, flowing into me, etching deeper, burning until I thought my veins would burst. Her body fell limp. Her markings, her resonance, her soul, all of it poured into me. Ending. When I woke, the battle was over. The council troops were gone, or rather, destroyed. The ruins themselves had risen in fury, wielded by resonance that had flowed through me in a storm I barely remembered. I was the last one standing in the silence of Ashgrave. And on my arm, where Lyra had first marked me, the symbol glowed faintly, steady and alive. I left Ashgrave, but I didn't leave her behind, because she wasn't gone. She was in me, in every resonance I now felt, in every symbol I could trace and awaken. I carried her people's legacy across the stars. At first, in secret, teaching other outcasts and wanderers how to listen, how to belong. Then, as whispers spread, others came, rebels, refugees, the forgotten. I marked them as Lyra had marked me. And each time, I told them the truth. You are one of us now. The council still hunts me. They call me dangerous, a heretic, a threat to stability. Maybe they're right, but I've learned something they'll never understand. Humanity was always more than just flesh and bone, more than empires and wars. We are resonance too, our stubbornness, our hope, our refusal to bow.